All right. I'm Kat. This is Off the Record, and I'm here with Sleeping Jesus. First and foremost, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your music with us. For our Radio K listeners, do you just want to say maybe names of band members for everyone?
Yeah, sure. My name's Nick. Sing and play guitar. I'm right, and I've got Andy and Ty right here that they can say hi to.
Hey, I'm Andy.
Hi, I'm Ty.
And then Seamus and Dante are off in the corner.
Great, excellent. So you just released your first album in July. How has the reception been to that?
It's been really cool. I mean, we didn't really know what to expect. We've released like some EPs and stuff in the past, and this felt like a huge obstacle that we wanted to finally accomplish. So I think we were all just like, okay, it's finally out. Now we can just play shows, write new music, do all that stuff.
Have you had anybody come up to you on the street and they're like, "Oh my gosh"?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
happens
so
to me a
exciting.
good bit. I was at the fair with my mom, and someone came up and recognized me from Sleeping Jesus, which was very surreal.
Oh
They
my
just yell
gosh.
Sleeping Jesus at him. That's how
Yeah.
they recognize him.
Andy's kind of a Jesus-looking character, or some resemblance of one.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
So people would just come up to you and be like, "Wow." How do you react when people do that?
I think it's really cool, and it's really humbling, I guess is the right word. For us, it's, we've been living with this album for a few years, and so it's very cool to see people recognize it and recognize the music that we make.
Oh, that's really nice. Has anybody, a stranger, said something just really sweet to you guys that it's just been like, "Oh wow," I don't know, just been like, "Oh."
We've gotten some really nice notes from strangers on the internet. That's one thing I love about the internet is connecting with people that you wouldn't normally get to connect with. And yeah, people are so nice, and most of the time,
Right.
but it's so sweet when you have a genuine interaction with someone you don't know.
Yeah, it's a very special phenomena. Is there a reason you released the album in July specifically?
It's kind of a summer album. That was our intention, but at the end of the day, it's just close to when we finished it and had enough time to get it out. We were working on it for 3 years, before, everything that happened in 2020. So
Right.
it's been a long time coming. So we were just kind of ready to get it out.
So did you finish it exactly in that July, or was it kind of done before and you were just waiting for the right time?
Yeah,
to
we
release
kind
it?
of. So I think that we got the masters back in the end of winter, kind of.
I
but
think
it was
February, yeah.
it was we wanted to kind of plan things out, make some music videos, and not just throw it up on the internet with no warning.
Right.
Yeah, so we wanted a little bit of a lead up to it. But yeah, we had started it 2020 or maybe even end of 2019.
2019, yeah.
And kind of had the tracks ready to be mixed and produced, but it was kind of a slow process getting them to their final stages, especially with us being apart during the pandemic a lot of the time, and I moved and just life stuff
Yeah.
happened.
Life gets busy. Life
Yeah.
gets busy fast. Is there anything that ended up getting added to the album? Because you kind of started it during a certain period of time, and then a bunch of big life events happened all at once. Did that kind of impact the way that the album turned out?
Not really. Most of the tracking I feel was pretty much done, and the songs were written, so they kind of were what they were, but except sonically we added stuff and changed stuff throughout that. So maybe it did have an effect on us. I don't know.
I think it allowed us to really think about stuff. We added in congas on Coop, and I don't think that was originally in the cards or what we were thinking for that. But I think there's a few little things like that and a few little background vocals that, since we had the time, we, went back and retracked them or did them a few times.
Is there, do you remember the exact moment that you were kind of wait, let's make an album? Because you said you were doing EPs before. When was that but what if?
Yeah, I think it was something we always wanted to do from the
Yeah.
get-go. It just didn't make sense, I guess, or we weren't maybe ready to crank out a whole album. And by the time I think 2018-ish, we had this lineup, which has been us five now since then, and I don't see that changing. And this is kind of it's a family band. It feels like in a lot of ways, it's like if it must go on like this. So it felt natural to be like, okay, let's finally like hunker down and finish an album, and
You all just looked into each other's eyes
Yeah.
and you're like, now.
longingly.
And I think we had found Mike too. We had done a track with him in like 2017. And I think that kind of solidified into as well. Like once we had this lineup and we had the producer that we really liked, it was like, okay, let's go for it.
Yeah, that's a big puzzle piece too. Honestly, I didn't mean to leave that out.
Oh no.
Yeah, Mike Noyce, our producer who made this record with us, was like really important in pushing us in this direction.
Yeah, that's super cool. Is there a song that has grown on you more since you released your album? Maybe one that is now a favorite that wasn't maybe an immediate favorite when you first dropped it?
For me, I think the first track, Get Up, it's always been just kind of like this weird, like half song, not really a song thing, but I have come to really enjoy it for what it is. It's like my favorite, I think.
I think for me, New Year's was definitely one that came along. And I think that was like, very post-apocalyptic vibes with the pandemic. And that was like the soundtrack for it for me. So like that one, really has grown that way.
Yeah, I think Calm Down It's Morning for me, because that is actually one of the oldest songs that Nick's like ever written, and that's come so many different ways to where it ended up. And now we're playing it live, like with the backing tracks, because we didn't include the tracks really until the album was done and we knew what we wanted to sound like live. So the addition of those too, just in the live setting, has been really big. Like it kind of changes the sound.
Yeah, that used to be like a big like grunge rock almost guitar sound. Like it has totally morphed from what I originally had learned to where we are now.
So are you the primary songwriting, or is that songwriting? Are you the primary songwriter, or is that something that like happens collaboratively?
So, like from the get-go, yeah, kind of, but now we're like starting to mold stuff as a band.
That's really
Like
cool.
the album was like very much us as a unit, like working together to form what it is.
Nice. So what's like the average process, I guess, if you're gonna make a song?
Well, we've already started working on our next album, so
Oh my gosh.
it's kind of been like maybe like a voice memo song, or just like a bare bones guitar and vocal demo, and then I'll just share it with the rest of the guys, and then we'll like rearrange it and change it how we see fit.
Add chords, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So your album is called Leaving the Party Early. What's the earliest you've left a party?
Oh man, I think this past weekend me and Nick did we stopped in at an after party, and I think we were there for like a whopping 7 minutes. Like it was like
Did you like
us walk
time
in.
it?
It was like I'm tired, he's tired. Like we kind of went in, just like said hi to everyone, and, like looked at each other like, I think I want to go to sleep, and just like left. We Irish goodbye.
You didn't even say bye to
No,
anybody?
no. It's like
Oh,
I've been
man.
trying to perfect the Irish goodbye of just leave. It's a party. Like you don't want to make a big deal about it. You just want to leave quietly. It's the respectful thing.
The Irish goodbye is a respectful leave. That's really good. So do you often leave parties early?
Yes.
Oh wow, that was fast. You didn't even hesitate.
Just as a group, especially on the road when stuff is happening, we're kind of just like a group that moves from place to place together, and we're all kind of ready to get out of there.
Is it because you're going to so many places, or you're simply not interested in being at like a party?
I think socially anxious. We're all
Yeah.
socially anxious.
I
people.
love the idea of a party, but
Yeah,
Right.
sometimes sometimes it's just it's too much.
Bunch of socially anxious Irishmen, huh? Like needing to leave. Is there anything that will like make you stay at a party? Have you ever found yourself caught up at one and you're like, wait, this is kind of nice?
Oh, I've done that a lot. Yeah.
It happens. Yeah.
It happens.
For
Yeah.
sure. We don't want to.
Yes.
We don't want to seem like we don't like hanging out with people.
Yeah.
We definitely
Right.
love being around people, new people, and friends. I think we're just like our social batteries sometimes are kind of run on low.
What do you do to recharge?
I just need like a day alone with my dog and like some coffee and not to be bothered.
Yeah, I think just getting that like quality time in of like go home, hang out and not have any real social interactions. It's interesting. Like with us, like I feel like because we have gone on the road so long and we've done it so long together, like we have learned how to recharge our batteries around each other, which I think is very unusual. Like I don't really have a whole lot of friendships that are like that.
Like you can be in the same space and then all just be shoop,
Yeah.
turning up.
And like not feel the need to, be on in a social setting.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's rare to find in friendships.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very cool. What do you do to recharge?
I go on bike rides.
You go on
I just
bike rides.
fixed up my bike. Went on the first one in like a month, so feeling good today.
Wow, you're coming to us, Charge.
Yes.
Incredible. We're getting you at your peak.
He's too powerful.
Too powerful. What's the number one thing that will make you leave a party? Like you walk in, something happens, you're like, I'm actually gone. It's less than 7 minutes.
A lot of yelling. I've been at a
Loud
lot of parties
noises.
where there's a lot of people just so hyped. Like there was a Renaissance party where everyone just kept yelling huzzah, and I think I lasted 15 minutes of that one.
Was it a costume party too?
Yes, I was in I was in the full garb too. I had a nice dress and princess cap on, but it just couldn't stick around.
So you just had to take yourself out, princess cap and all.
Yep.
After 15 minutes.
Yep. I left my glass slipper though.
Oh, I hope somebody returns that to you. That would be ideal.
That'd be really
So also I wanted to talk about the album. So part of it is about like leaving your 20s behind, right? Would you say the exit of your 20s has been a graceful one?
In as many ways as it can be with like the pandemic. I know it has been like different for everybody, like losing parts of your youth or whatever, but I think we ended up as graceful as we could.
Oh,
where
yeah.
we're at. Like we're still a band.
Mm-hmm.
We got to put out a record this year, and we're all healthy, and I think that's like the most important thing.
I think too, like our friendships have grown and changed, and I think that's like another really healthy sign to me. Like I think like this band is like the healthiest relationships I have in friendships in a lot of ways.
That's huge. Is there any advice you would give to somebody who is entering their 20s right now?
I think I shouldn't be giving anybody advice, but like just do what feels right and surround yourself around people that make you feel good. I think that's the biggest thing.
I would say just read more. I mean, like I feel like that's
Read a
so silly,
book.
but like read for your enjoyment because you don't really get a whole lot of time to do that in your adult life, and I think that's really important for growth and perspective learning.
Are there any books you'd recommend?
I just finished Slaughterhouse 5 again, so that's what I'm going to go with. That or Shantaram.
Huge Carbonica vibes. All right. Picking those up. Do you have any advice?
Well, us three, you asked the oldest in the bands who are out of their 20s.
The
We
elders,
are
yes.
still going out of our 20s, but
You're still on your way out.
yeah. So far, so good. But I guess just recognizing when the energy is there, whether it's like social or creative, because I kind of force myself in a lot of situations in a lot of ways, over the years. So taking some time to myself and kind of recognizing how I'm feeling has been huge. So taking those moments is crucial.
Like actually checking in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything that you are excited to leave in your 20s? You're like, different time in my life, and it's okay if that stays there.
I think, like the album being called "Leave the Party Early" is like letting go of that. Like when you feel like you're supposed to be like doing something when you're like 21 or 22, like you're supposed to be out partying or something like that. But it's like it's okay to just be home and like working on music or doing whatever you want to do. That's what you should do.
I think that's really well said.
Nice.
Ditto.
Consensus. That's great. Who are your current inspirations right now?
Dijon, who just put an album, absolutely. That's like my favorite album. How it's recorded, how it sounds, just like everything. I'll go on forever.
I got to think about this one. Nate, do you have an answer right off the bat?
Yeah, I've been really liking. This year, I've been listening to the Fruit Bats a lot and Mount Joy. They have a new album out that's really cool. Papa Umbai from town is amazing.
Yeah. Some incredible artists.
I think I've probably been listening to that Madison Cunningham record a lot. That thing's great. It's I don't know. It's just a wonderful, wonderful record.
That's really exciting. So you mentioned that you're already starting to work on another album. What are some of the themes or sounds or things along those lines that we can kind of look forward to?
I feel like a lot of with this last album we put out, it was like done disjointly. Like we did some of it in Winona, we did some of it in Milwaukee, we did some of it in Minneapolis, we did some of it in Northfield. So it was like getting together wherever we could, kind of like home setup sort of vibe. But this time around, we're going to record at this place called the Magic Barn in Iowa, which used to be called the Magic Shop in New York, and then it moved to Iowa. And it's this like beautiful place out in the country, and we're going to try to like track as much of it as we can, like as a live band, and just sort of be in a room all together, like away from everybody else for like a week, trying to create something beautiful all together.
That sounds it sounds like the perfect environment to make music in.
Yeah, doesn't it?
That's really exciting. So I have to ask, the band name. Is that something that was like individually thought of? Was it collectively?
I think that was a name I came up with before I even met Ty. Ty was the first band member to join the band in 2016.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a name that I had grabbed from a saying my grandma just said Sleeping Jesus.
The one's on his socks.
Yeah.
The grandma on his
She's on my socks right now.
Oh, that's really nice. She looks great.
But it just means like a lazy person.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learning new things every day. If you had to wake Jesus up, what do you think how do you think you'd go about doing that?
I don't know. He had a pretty rough go at it, so he might
Yeah.
not be too happy.
Hot Cheetos, probably.
You'd
Maybe a
wake
Red Bull.
Jesus up with hot
Yeah.
Cheetos.
I don't know if he likes coffee, so we'll do a Red Bull. That's pretty safe.
Right.
I feel like letting the sunlight in would probably wake him up a little bit. Move that rock out of the way.
Yeah. 4 or 5 cigarettes.
Yeah.
Breakfast.
Yeah. Cigarettes, Red Bull, 3 shots of whiskey, and yeah, I think that's
Flaming
about
hot
it. Yeah.
Cheetos.
Yeah, flaming hot Cheetos. Yeah.
Don't forget about those.
You can blend that all together for him, just make it smooth.
Right. I think you'd really like that.
We talked about that a lot, right?
Yeah, I think that was definitely mentioned. If I recall. Do you guys have any shows coming up?
We do. We have 2 in Minnesota next week. We're playing Duluth Cider on October 28th.
Nice.
And we're playing Mortimer's on October 29th for a Halloween show. Costumes are recommended. And we're playing with Products from Minneapolis and Asia
Yeah.
Minor.
Oh, very cool.
Shout out to Asia Minor. They just put a new song out today.
That's so exciting. What are you going to be for Halloween?
Cowboy.
Yeah, we haven't discussed this, so my wife and I are going to be Harry and Marv from Home Alone.
That's so good.
I think I'm going to go as the entire movie of Castaway and get a volleyball costume.
Oh, wow.
And just do that in one swing.
What are you guys going to be? The other members don't know yet.
Shrugs from the couch.
Dante's going to be Bingus, the internet cat.
It's a shaved cat.
The shaved internet cat. And then the last question that I always like to make sure I ask bands are, what are 3 things you're loving right now?
I'll go first with I just moved to Minneapolis and I have never lived here. I grew up in Atlanta and I love being here. It's very inspiring just to like go around and actually see like graffiti again and like cool graffiti. That's a little thing to me that's very cool.
I'm loving all the new music that's coming out in Minneapolis right now. It's really inspiring to be around.
Oh, it's such an exciting time
Yeah.
to be in music in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I would say likewise with Winona. Just for a small town, there's a lot of things happening, a lot of moving parts. So the winter, this is probably the first winter I'm looking forward to actually being in, just hunkering up and working with my friends.
That's very exciting. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. It was wonderful having you. Is there anything else that you want to say to our Radio K listeners?
Thank you for having us. We had so much fun. We are going to go on tour in November on the East Coast, so maybe we'll see some people there. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, keep an eye out. Yeah, thank you so much. This has been Radio K, Real College Radio. Thanks for tuning in.
Radio K rocks.